Oh, a little music, huh?
Hey, friends, welcome to Lions Live on the Forever Lions Network, the only network built by the players through the fans. Got the big dude missing us tonight, but we have with the Grizz Jimmy Kennedy, Yaacov Yisrael. He is UA again, and I hope we'll get him back here next week. My name's Skip Dreibelbis. We're talking some Penn State football here, and I'm trying to get all our technical things working here right. Hopefully everybody's catching us live out there as we talk streaming on the internet using some new tools here with Zoom and everything like that. You know, folks, this is a unique program, unlike it anywhere else in the country. No other team in college football, Jimmy, has a program like this where it's all done by the players. No pundits, we just produce it, publish it, do everything here. It's the coolest thing ever, you know. So you get an insight to a sport from guys who played, and it's a really awesome. And we're thankful to be here to do this during the football season. New medium that we're doing in here this year, folks, because it's a different world we live in. It's the world's gone mad and virus madness and craziness. So, but the cool thing is we get to Jimmy's in Arizona. I'm here at Penn State. Big dude, he's in New Jersey, Yaacov. We all get to come in, and any other player or coach or anybody who is free to join us, you can jump on in here and talk football here. So we're glad to have it here tonight. And we're giving a little recap here what happened this past weekend. Jeepers, Jimmy, where do we start with Maryland?
Man, first off, it's good to be back. Obviously, I missed last week. It's a struggle right now, but I think overall Penn State, if they continue to fight, they're gonna, this is where you find out what's gonna happen in the future. You get guys, that's out there playing, they're learning from their mistakes and so on. It doesn't, sit well for the guys who had aspirations of winning the national championship and everything else, winning the Big Ten. But at least you still get to put some things on film. You get to see some younger players play. The guys that's trying to make it to the next level, they get to go out there, put film together and so on. It might not all be, wins in terms at the end. We got the win, but there's some good individual play going on and so on that might help some guys, example, Shaka Tony has some solid plays and so on. He made a couple of big plays. I think Antonio Sheldon, he made some plays in terms of the defense. So on. So you have some bright spots, you get to see a lot of the young players that may not have been expected to be thrust into the action, actually coming in and stepping up or learning different things. I mean, obviously, most people know that we've lost Journey Brown. His career in terms of football is done. So it's still a next man up, approach. You just have to make sure that those guys, it might not feel like it's going great this year, but we have a lot of guys getting experience, which makes our future look better. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's great to get wins, of course, but we also continue to do what we need to do to help us for 2021 and so on.
Well, this season's definitely been a test of character for sure. Man, I went back and I watched the game again tonight before the program, and I mean, it's rough, buddy. It's a rough season here, and lots of lessons I trust are getting learned. Yeah, makes you wonder sometimes. I appreciate teams that want to be aggressive and then try to, establish a pace for the game. But I do have to remember back to the first quarter where we started getting down. It's a close game still, in the beginning of the game, and it gets me fourth down. I'm thinking, like, why aren't we trying to get the easy three for the field goal? And then I look back later in the game, and I'm seeing, like, we're down, like, almost 30 points. and we're kicking a long field goal. And I'm like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
There's just things like that I just, it's not the football that we're used to. And I'd appreciate the aggressiveness of Coach Franklin wanting to try to, establish, a good, get a score first thing. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with some conservative football and taking, points early in the game when it's close, any way you can get them. And later in the game, if you're really down, I'd almost rather see us, instead of trying to kick a almost 50-yard field goal and shanking it bad, I'd rather see us go for it and fourth down and try to get a touchdown. So that's just opinions, but it's just some things I've noticed, and it makes me kind of think like, okay, are these things we need to really think about? But you look at the bigger picture, when you look at the numbers, on paper we should have beat them, but we didn't. The turnovers killed us, and we got to be able to learn how to block and run, and we also got to be able to.
On paper we should be undefeated, though. Technically, if you look at it, But here's what the thing is, I know a lot of things is going on. I think for this year, with everything that's taking place, obviously the COVID, the quarantining, the isolation, this has been a year in itself. This is the kind of year that we expected Coach James Franklin to have in his first maybe 2 years at Penn State. He has, I know things are going tough right now. I still believe in him. So I still think he's going to continue to do, a great job there coaching. Whether people are bumping heads or whatever the situation is, I put it off to 2020, just the way everything has been going. He's done a great job since he's been there. We don't know how many people want to play ball. We don't know how much people want to be in terms of isolation and different stuff. Like think about this. There's people in the house right now that's going crazy. I'm speaking in terms of athletes and so on. They're just going crazy. They feel like they're stuck. They're trapped. It's we're in a condition right now to where your home is kind of like a jail cell to a point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People are working from home.
Crazy,
people are doing. Yeah, so you're going stir crazy and everything else and so on. What's the effect that has on a college player? I mean, I know you brought it up on the first show talking about the young waitress and so on, how she's dating a guy and she can't, one of the players, and she can't see him and different stuff. Well, you heard her perspective. How is that affecting him?
Sure.
Because we all enjoyed our Penn State experience. You understand? We all enjoyed our Penn State experience. So what part of being a college student is being enjoyed right now? You're in the house. You have to be in isolation. You're doing virtual school. It's just so much. So what toll is that taking on you? And then, like I said to you in the previous show, I mean, not the one I missed, obviously, but I told you that our crowd plays a huge part in football. When you go out there, it's practice. If you go out there and it's practice and you're able to get a lot of stuff accomplished because you're not on the sideline and you're not, lollygagging and everything else and so on. Well, you can do that on the sideline in terms of in practice. It's just practice. We added this. We could joke around and everything else and so on. But if you think about it, whenever we were playing, when it became a time for scrimmaging each other and everything else, was there a lot of lollygagging going on the sidelines? Unless a team was unless we was blowing our other teammates out or something like that, which doesn't happen in the scrimmage, there's really not a lot of lollygagging going on. You know what I'm saying? Because the competition, the intensity turns up. So then now, if you look, lesser teams who have, let's say, I can't say poor talent, because obviously everyone is talented, but lesser teams who don't have to deal with the mental part, because it's not just a physical game, it's a mental game. Maryland has tons of athletes. But what about that guy that they're dependent on that's actually out at the frat house on Friday night, or that's out at the frat house on Wednesday night? That's out with a girl or doing something, or staying up late for school and writing a paper and different stuff. All of those are the elements that factor in. You know, a great example is the bubble with the NBA. When they had the bubble, the players that you never heard of were stepping up and having amazing games. But then they also didn't have to jump on a plane and travel and have that toll being taken on you and everything else and so on with the travel part. So we have to understand that this COVID situation, this time, this quarantine and everything else have evened the playing field, because now so for example, when we go on a road, I think the guys is going to be just looking forward to just traveling, just getting out of their space, just doing certain things and so on. And when they get there, they're going to get to a new campus, see some things that's different. But when they get to the stadium, it's back to like focus on football. But then we don't know. Watch how this go. It's been how long since spring ball? And then we had where we weren't in school and so on. Everyone that I know were training and trying to do something to keep themselves in shape or make sure that they was good so they could, when they get back to football, they don't miss a beat. Well, how draining is that? Like, think about this right now. It feels like we was just watching NBA basketball. It's starting up December 22nd.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Just to keep things back on track for next season. Basketball was just over probably last month.
Yeah.
You know, like here it is. We're on to the next. So I think that's playing its part right now. We're having a year that we expected Coach Franklin to have, you know, when he first took the job and so on. He has conditioned us to our winning ways. It doesn't feel like Penn State football. But as of right now, Coach Franklin, he always says, you know, one game at a time, 1 week at a time. I just think they just need to do that. One game at a time, 1 week at a time. But we, as fans, as alumni, we have to keep our visions open and understand that right now it's an even playing field. Nebraska has nothing to lose. They're going to have all their players on the sidelines. They're going to have everyone hyper-focused, because at all times, let's kick Penn State while they're low. This is our chance to get a win.
Right.
You know?
Right. Makes a lot of sense.
I mean, I think we'll be fine, though.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. You know, the thing to try to do, and you know, of all the years, if you have to have a down year, this is the year to have a down year.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, but you add all the factors into it.
Yeah.
Think about this. If we weren't in COVID, right, do we have Michael Parsons?
Yeah, it's a totally different game. It's a totally different team.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Do we have the players that opted out? Do we have certain stuff? Do we have guys focused? Do we have, like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
you know, like,
it's totally different. It's a totally different team. I mean, everything's totally in a different perspective, and you know, and I do feel for the guys that want to, but you know, I guess, you know, I'm sure Coach is doing the best he can with this. You know, you try to paint every situation as an opportunity. You know, and I was talking to some guys before we came on tonight. They were asked about football, and I said, you know, it's all in how you want to, the perspective you want to put it into. It's kind of cool that the guys aren't burning up eligibility and things like this with this season because of this. So I said, you know, if I was a coach, I'd say, look, here's opportunity. You have a year you can spend in the weight room. You can buffet your body. You can get it into shape. You can get your grades. You can get all that. You can. This is a free year. Cash in on this opportunity to make a name for yourself with my program. And I'm sure he's trying to sell, and that's what you got to sell these kids on. You know, this is the time for you to really, you know, how many other guys would love to have another year of eligibility to be able to get their bodies even better shape to try to get in the league. You know, that's the thing you got to keep pitching to these kids, because that's what's going to motivate them to try to see through it. Say, no, it's going to stink at times. Yes, we don't want you to get near anybody, because if you get infected, our team's down and we're screwed. Okay, I get that, but you know what? If you keep yourself busy, you get up, you do your schoolwork, we get you in a routine, and then it's like the military, man. You get in the same routine every day in, day out, and you get into that routine. So it takes some of that madness that can set in like you say, before we start to go stir crazy. It's that downtime is where the playground the devil has will torment these guys, and I'm hoping that's not the case, because hopefully they can find ways to keep the team entertained, do things that are different, just to try to change the pace a little bit, because they need it. These guys really need it. It's more than just football. There's a lot of things they kind of try to do to try to build some family, sense of togetherness. Sense of teamwork going through this experience together. And that's a hard thing to do. You got 100 different people with all these personalities and everybody to try to blend that all together. And that's a huge melting pot. You're going to try to get everybody to stick together like glue. So I'm sure it's a challenge for the coach.
Yeah, you know what? You said it right, Skip. And the problem is that we're old guys now. So we see it, like, think about it. If you look at it from that perspective, oh yeah, another year in a weight room, another year in, like for me, I'm like, oh yeah, I could be in grad school. I could finish grad school. I could do certain things and so on, because we have grown out of being just at Penn State, and we had Coach Paterno instilling in us that he creates more men than football players. You understand? More citizens and so on, that men that stand, doctors, lawyers, and so on. So from a perspective in terms of school-wise, if you're able to keep your eligibility and just go to school and just do certain things without being in a position to where it's, where you focus on just if you're in the NFL or not. I think certain things, like, I expect people to start using their brain, especially the players. And what I mean by that is this. If you look at our rosters, and I say, obviously, if you look at the rosters that we had within the last, let's just say, 4 years. Let's go to the last 4 years, right? Give them 4 years of who we had come in. Look at the players that we had drafted. Look at the amount of first rounders that we had, which isn't a lot. Look at the success that our players have had in the NFL. We don't have a lot in it anymore. I mean, obviously, Saquon is just a freak in himself. Micah Parsons is a freak in himself. Should definitely be a first-round guy and so on. Should definitely do well in the NFL. Miles Sanders, he's playing well and different stuff and so on, injuries and different stuff. But if you look at it, especially from the defensive perspective and so on, we have guys who are still on the roster, but we have no standout guys. Mike Gesicki, obviously, he's going to continue to get better and so on. He's obviously a first-round guy. But that's out of all this time, this how many guys that I'm able to say, that's out there doing their thing. So I'm not bashing Penn State. I'm just saying, in terms of players, they should look and say, hey, I need another year in the weight room. They should look and say, hold on, let me make sure there's a plan B in line. Let me make sure I do the different things that I need to do so I can be successful. It's not just about leaving and so on and going pro. I thought the goal was actually to make it to the pros and actually stay in the pros for as long as you can stay. Not just go in and out and everything else, get cut, deal with different stuff and so on. Get there and stay. Penn State, from the time that I watch, has been known for longevity, whether that's at the school with the coaches or whether that was a player in the NFL. If you go back in the day and you look how long Bobby Ingram played and so on, and how many teams he played for, and say Anthony Adams, obviously my guy, was with the 49ers for 5 years or so on, and then with the Bears for 4 years and so on. Kyle Brady, how long he played and so on, the Jaguars, and then the Patriots. And so you understand what I'm saying? So it becomes like, it's not like you had guys who just went and just jumped around from team to team and different stuff and so on. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Right. So you start looking at the Penn State tradition and who we are as players. We don't have to always be the flashy guy, the Kerry Collins and different stuff like that. We go blue collar, we go get it done. Kerry Collins played for how long? So it started, we start becoming not the foundation, but the anchor in the reliable people, Todd Blackledge. in those guys. You start looking at these guys, the people that I'm naming is like, oh yeah, hold on, you know, and they become like, so for example, watch that go. We all know the kind of stud linebacker that we had in Brandon Short. Brandon went on, he played a few years in the NFL and so on. I want to say 6 or so like that, maybe 7 or something like that, somewhere in that ballpark, maybe. But then look at what he is. He's on a board right now. He's a great man. He's a great father, a great husband. He's so much more than football. You know what I'm saying? So it becomes like just looking at the things that they can accomplish, you know, and obviously, like I said, I'm an old man now. If I can go back and I say old, obviously I'm 40. I'll be 41 this Sunday. So, but
happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Thanks, man. I say it in the sense of, like, think about this. We all wish we could turn back time and go back and do things a different way. And if, you know, obviously when I try to talk to the players, that's the stuff I'll talk about. I'm like, listen, you're right next to your next business partner. You're right next to don't just make friends in terms of just on a football team. Make friends in the classroom and different stuff and so on. It's not about who's going to be the next president or anything like that. More than it's about just people and giving your life a better chance of having quality Penn State people around it so you can be more than just a football player. Because when it's all said and done, the game is going to end for all of us.
Oh, yeah.
For all of us. And the toughest thing to deal with is adjusting from being a football player and only a football player into real life. Like most of us, especially when we was playing Skip, how many times did you work out in the gym and had a woman there with you?
That doesn't happen. Yeah.
It don't happen. You know what I'm saying? So then now you're a civilian, you go into the gym and there's all these women around and different stuff and so on because now you're not a football player no more.
Right.
So now that's an adjustment in itself. Who's spotting you? What's the situation? How many times did you go in there and work out for real muscles and not actually have a trainer train you, a JT, a John Thompson, something? It don't happen.
Right.
So then, but now you're on your own. Or you hiring one of these little, you know, Bally's Total Fitness trainers or whatever the case may be, the little CrossFit guy who walk buff, and you looking like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? So it becomes an adjustment. I just think right now, same as we adjusted with these times, everything is obviously we all have strong faith. God makes no mistakes. So I just believe that the guys just have to stay the course, figure things out. This right here is going to come to a point, like watch how this go. When I was there, my last 2 years, we didn't make a bowl game 2 years while I was there. My last year we made the bowl game. We didn't make a bowl game for 2 years that I was there. But when I left, the group that I left behind and so on won the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Michael Robinson and all of them, quarterback and everything else and so on, they won the Big Ten. And all the guys that I see, it was like, you set the foundation. You guys made sure that we worked hard. You did this. You guys said and so on. When we lost, you guys ingrained it in us like, that's not good enough. We can't have this and so on and so on. But you also got to keep in mind that when we had those years, we replaced Courtney Brown, LeVar Arrington. We replaced Brandon Short. We replaced Justin Kapekis, David Macklin, Balju. Like, you understand? Anthony King. We just kept replacing talented people, talented starters, and so on. It was like, all right, well, cool. McCool was gone, and this person was gone, and Larry, and we got Johnson, and this. And so it was just a bunch. Like, you know what I'm saying? So then it's like, all right, who are we? Because now we're going to a new year, and the returning starters is Jimmy Kennedy and Justin Kapekis. No one else on defense. You know, and we didn't make a bowl game. You know, and that's what reality is. So it's like, oh, hold on. Like, you know, so I think we just have to stay the course, and we're just having a down year.
Yep.
But keep in mind, like I said, even though we didn't make a bowl game, even though the following year we didn't make a bowl game, Larry Johnson still put up numbers. We still went and had the most first round defensive, you know, deep Penn Staters ever. Myself was a first rounder. Anthony Adams was the first pick in the second round. Michael Haynes was the first rounder. Larry Johnson was a first rounder. Brian Johnson was a first rounder. Brian Scott was the fourth pick in the second round. Like, we had so many first rounders. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So we had 5 or 6 or something that year, tied with like Miami or something that year. So like I said, God makes no mistakes. Let us go and figure these things out, because we might be looking at the next star. We might be looking at the future. We might be looking at someone who's going to make a difference, not just on the Penn State football field, but on and off the field at the next level.
Yep, makes a lot of sense, Jimmy. Makes a lot of sense. And I hope through all this they can actually have some fun. I know it's hard to say that because it's not fun to lose, but I think you can still have some fun even when in the worst of times too. So you're right. It's a matter of perspective, buddy. You're certainly right. Hey, we're looking ahead here this week. We got, like you say, I think the guys could actually be up for this game, and because they actually, like you say, could have a change of pace, have a change of just a change of venue. Even is going to make I think it'd be a positive thing. Heading out to meet them boys who eat the corn and and play out in the cornfields in Nebraska. So Nebraska, I think it's going to be a closer game. I actually think Penn State's going to come out with a win with this one. It's the spread's not real big on it, but I think Penn State, they're going to be hungry for a win. And I know it sounds like usually the years before I'm the one that's saying I don't know about this one, but I'm more optimistic about that. I think than you guys are this year.
Yeah. I think we have way too many holes right now. I think right now our problem is we play to the talent level, and that's usually a sign of a young team. So if we go out there and we play Maryland the same way we play Ohio State, do we win?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you.
You feel what I'm saying?
We got one.
Like
Now we played one more game than Nebraska so far, so we do have at least one more game on our belt than they do, but they're 0-2 also.
Yeah, I say Nebraska by 3.
Right. Yeah, I think
I don't want to. I want Penn State to win.
Well, I'm with you.
I
think Penn State could win this by. I think it'd be a closer game, and I think Penn State by 10. Penn State by 10. Well, I think they may actually make the field goal. And I think they'll actually, there are two teams that are struggling, but I think Penn State's. It's going to be coming down to the team that's the most hungry for a win. And I know our guys, they want to win. They
definitely want to win.
Yeah.
They definitely want to win. I just think it becomes a thing that's like I was watching the game and totally forgot Penn State Maryland was at Penn State. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, what? Hold up. I was like, that looked like Penn State on the field. I was like, they came to our house and did this to us? Like, you know what I'm saying? So,
oh man, I know.
I think that kind of took it out of me.
Yeah, I saw a lot.
I want them to win, but it's because think about this: you're the most focused at home. You're the most focused at home. I mean, obviously, if it's not about impressing your family and friends, it's about protecting your house.
Oh yeah.
When you're in the NFL, that's what it says. Reality is this: we expect to go 8-0 at home. Because 8-0 is going to get you in the playoffs and everything else and so on, whatever. You finish with the 8-8 season. Now, how many games can we steal?
Right.
How many road games can we steal? All right, we get 8, and we could steal, 4, 3. We're 11-5. We're 12-4. Certain, you understand? That's how we look at it. So I expect Penn State to be thinking the same thing.
Right.
And
yeah, getting beat up like that at home was. When I watched the game, Jimmy, I'm not. It was ugly. It was a lot of ugly, man. I mean, it was ugly. But There's glimmers of hope, and I'm hoping they can put it together. I think they need to mix it up with, get a couple different people taking snaps, get a couple different people running the ball. We got to mix it up, give some people experience because, it's that type of a season. Let's get some guys some experience. Let's see who wants to really get out there and compete.
Yeah, but that just like what I said, the comment that you just made, the statement that you just made, does what for us in the future?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We start rotating, we start getting people in, we start playing for competition and everything else and so on. We start getting some younger guys, think about it. You out there with no crowd and everything else. You got TV, but there's no jitters and everything else and so on. And it's kind of like practice. Not the game, practice. So it's kind of like that.
Yeah, it's quiet. I mean, you hear the crickets, you hear the crickets.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be different.
So go out there, play as hard as you can, and whether you're on the field 10, 20, 8, 5 snaps, you still get experience and you learn and you have something to build on. Because what is it? What's our record right now? 0-3?
Yeah.
I expect to see a lot of people play because after this year, after this game, the players could redshirt or something like that, right?
That's right.
And not lose eligibility or something like that?
Yep.
So I expect to see a lot of people play.
Sure not. Might as well. Got to put them in. Give them a shot.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Well, that's as simple as we can put it. You're spot on. That's really about all.
But I don't think our offense is consistent enough. I think Dotson showed some great plays and so on. We have some younger receivers that's making a lot of solid plays, but I think that I would like to see us gel a little better. I'm not going to bash one person and so on. Like me personally, I would like to see us with a couple of taller receivers and everything else too.
Right. 5'10" guys.
So like I said,
unless they can jump up and 15 feet in the air or something,
Yeah, like I said, obviously, I'm not going to bash any of the players.
No.
And I'm not going to try to take a shot at anyone because that's not how I operate.
No.
But I would like.
But I get what you're saying. I mean, we need to have some good matchups, and like I don't care if a guy's 5'8", but if he can jump up, 15 feet in the air, man, I'll play him. That's great because that's an opportunity to have the other team think you got an advantage when you don't. So
And like I said, measurements don't measure the heart.
No.
So you already know that. I'd rather have some dogs out there amongst our lions.
Okay.
I want some dogs, So as long as you got heart and you come to play, not just the spectacular, Dotson had a couple of, big time catches. But when you watch it, it's not about the catches and how he made the catches. It's about the attitude of not quitting.
Yeah.
And the desire to get into the end zone and the desire to keep winning and so on. But now because he made those catches, I don't want Clifford to keep trying to force him the ball. Hoping that everything's going to be an acrobatic catch.
Right. Well, because, we had seasons before like that not long ago where they figured, hey, I got my guys, I'll just throw it up and they're going to come down with it. Well, there's no magic like that. It don't work that way.
Exactly. Don't work like that.
You're
don't work like that.
You're right.
That's just what it is. Like the magic worked like this. When we was at Ohio State, no matter what the situation is, we knew that we was gonna block a kick. We just knew, hold up, we about to win this game. The momentum there, the crowd is going crazy. Marcus Allen blocked the kick, and the rest is history. And then the same thing, even when I was a player, Ohio State, same situation. The ball screaming, get pushed, and so on. We block the kick. It's over. Coach Paterno, 324th win, making him the winningest coach. Yep. I remember LeVar told me to push and block the kick and so on versus Pittsburgh. I screamed behind me when we had Cameron Wake, Derek Wake, and told him, I need you to jump over top of me. This is what LeVar did. And he comes, he blocked the kick, and we win the game.
Yeah.
It's awesome. So, like I said, everything is just learning and so on, and I think the guys are going to be fine. But I just think the focus has to be there. Obviously, I know Coach Franklin is going to be drilling and doing everything he can to get the guys to win. I just don't think it's our year this year. And I think everyone's going to be gunning for us. Think about this. If Nebraska goes in, how would I say it? Let's say they only win 2 games this year, but one of them is Penn State. Are they happy about their season?
A lot better than we would be. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And that's what my position is. You know, my high school coach used to always tell me when I was younger, no one roots for Goliath.
Yeah.
No one wants to see Goliath win. And when it's all said and done, when you look at the Big Ten, they always talking about 3 schools. And most of the time, which is sad because I think Iowa always is consistent. And they're always a threat.
Yep.
But Penn State, Ohio State, and Wisconsin.
Yep.
Every time.
Yeah, and the Michigan.
Everyone else is the afterthought.
Everybody wants to beat a Michigan. Everybody wants to beat a Michigan too, you know.
Yeah, but the problem is right now, over the years, they've been beating the Michigan, so they're falling out.
That's just, it was that way.
So they're falling out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but back in the day, when we was there, it was Michigan, Penn State, and Ohio State.
That's right. Yeah.
It was actually Michigan first when I came out because, you know, people, I was thinking the other day, you know what was crazy? The other day, the last game, not the Maryland game, obviously the Ohio State game, I remember looking and realizing that when I fell in love with football, I was already playing in high school. My team that I wanted to play for was Ohio State. Wow. How crazy is that? Wow. I was going through my books and stuff the other day, and I realized they had Andy Katzenmoyer. Remember him? The linebacker. Ohio State had Andy Katzenmoyer, right? I got a newspaper article of him staring, and he had the visor on, and you could see the offensive line in his visor, the quarterback. And he's staring.
That's awesome.
And it was like a close-up picture, and you could see the Buckeyes on his helmet and stuff like that. And I fell in love with it. And I think he had neck problems or something like that in the NFL, didn't show up and everything else and so on. And that's what turned me away from Ohio State. I felt like he quit. I was like, man, Ohio State. Man, things got taken. He didn't even show up. This dude is quitters. Then it was time to make my selection and pick my school. I ain't going to them.
That's awesome.
And I don't regret it. I don't regret it, obviously, because, you know, their defensive line is considered great. Like I always said before, because they had Larry Johnson, who was our defensive line coach.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize, like I always make the point of saying, Larry Johnson, Coach Johnson is a great coach.
Oh, yeah.
Great coach. But he's not known for putting out first-round defensive tackles. He puts out first-round defensive ends going all the way back to Brad Scioli, Courtney Brown. I don't think Scioli was a first-rounder, but he played for a long time defensive end, you know. But Courtney Brown, Justin Pekas, he's known for putting Tom Ali and so on, like, you know, Cameron Wake and so on. He's known for putting out talented defensive ends, you know. Yeah. But, you know, obviously the guy at the 49ers right now and Chase Young and – like he's known for all that. So, but defensive tackle wise, it won't get better than me and myself and Spice.
There you go.
It won't get better. You know.
That's awesome. That's
awesome. It is.
That's
right. I'm over here eating some pistachios. Killing these pistachios right now.
That, man, they're looking good.
It's like a steak. I got the salt and pepper ones too.
Oh man. Oh wow, they're good. Yeah, they're good. I see it. I like the pistachios that are already husked. You know, they're already out of the I get them, and man, the guy can sit down and eat a bag of them. I was hitting the cashews earlier today, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man.
You said you'll take the cashews?
I like the cashews. I was chomping on them earlier today.
Hey, I ate all my cashews.
Oh, there you go.
And put my pistachios inside my cashew jar.
That's where I get mine. Yeah, goodbye.
Yeah. Like, man, I was like, because you know the pistachios usually come in a little bag,
Yeah, yeah.
So I was like, I'm out of cashews. So let me drop them in this little Tupperware thing.
Oh yeah, it works great. Yeah, recycle. It's actually
Yeah.
those bags have that zip seal on it thing, you know. Not venomous.
Yeah, they don't work the same though.
Yeah.
We got big hands.
I know they don't they sealed right, you know.
Yeah.
That's cool. Wow. Hey, well, man, we'll wrap it up here tonight. It's a great show. Always, I missed the big dude. I hope he's feeling better for next week. It's it doesn't even seem like a football season almost. It's kind of like it's fog we're in, you know. And I mean that's just somebody used to watching football. It just doesn't seem like it's like we're still waiting for the season to begin. And it's just here we are. We're into it already. I don't know. It's just a strange time, buddy. It's a real strange time.
Well, here's what it is, Skip. Think about this. It's not just that. The teams that has been known, and I say historically, not necessarily talent wise. So I don't know how to put this, but who over history doesn't have the winning records. Like I said, NBA, those guys stepped up. Those guys, the lesser caliber teams and so on, were the teams that stepped up. Denver went out there and they beat the Clippers and so on. Like, what? Hold on, in the playoffs? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it becomes like certain things. But if you look at it right now, hold up. What do you mean the Patriots aren't number one?
Oh, yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Hold up, for years, Miami, who's got the first pick, and Tua and everything else and so on, is now leading the division and so on. You start looking at certain things like that.
Oh, I know.
Hold up. What do you mean?
Look at my boys, the Steelers, man, undefeated. I'm like, whoa, what's up with this?
That's what I'm saying. So you start going through certain things. It's like, oh yeah, Big Ben is back, and it's like, oh yeah, that's right. They didn't have Big Ben, and there's certain things that you start looking at. It's like, yeah, let's just watch things play out. But like I said, the teams with like I said, not less talented, but the team that's not known for winning, they're focused now. Because this is the year that they can beat those teams that don't have the crowd noise, that don't have certain things, that don't have so on. So Miami, those teams that's like, oh, this is our year to beat these guys. The Jets feel like they can beat the Patriots. Like, look how it came down to the end. The Jets.
I know. I saw that. Yeah.
Like, this is the year we're going to beat the Patriots. Like, like I said, no one roots for Goliath. So they're like, oh, we're going to knock them off this year.
Well, like Buffalo, look at Buffalo. You're like, who'd have thought Buffalo?
Look at Buffalo. Yeah, think about that. Yeah, it's like, come on. I mean, think about it. Buffalo or Miami leads the division. With the Patriots and the Jets at the bottom? What? And the Patriots being last?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
The world's gone
Something's
mad.
not adding up. Yeah.
The world's gone mad, Jimmy. It's gone mad. I don't know. Hey, I missed it last night. I wanted to watch it. There was a new league that played a spring game or something. I can't remember what it was called. I forgot to watch it. I had a program. I didn't record it, but it was on Fox Sports. I missed it. But,
really?
Yeah, so it's not a professional league. So I try to keep up with stuff. It's hard, man. You're busy.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's hard. So, but hey, man, this is the one time a week I look forward to the most during the year. Is catching up with you guys. So, look forward to catching up here next week. So, we'll see what Penn State does. We just don't know. You're picking Nebraska by 3. I'm thinking Penn State maybe by 10. We'll see how they play out.
Okay. I'm saying, man, it's tough. I'd say 17-20.
Wow.
Nebraska.
Low scoring game. Yeah, maybe Penn State. I don't know. Penn State 28, 28-21 maybe. We'll see. 17. Okay. Yeah, 28-17. We'll see. Be interesting game. Okay. Look forward to watching it. I got some stuff going on in my business during that time, but I will record it.
Yeah, definitely. Gotta watch it.
It's an early start, so I got some things happening in my business during the day.
Yeah, I recorded the last game and watched it after too.
Yeah, that's fine to do this. Yeah, but hey, it's all good. I don't like to hear from anybody. I don't want to know what it is. I would just kind of watch it. It's all good.
That's what I was recording, and so on. You guys was texting me. I was like, "Oh, come on!" And I went and I looked, and I watched the fourth quarter. Then I watched it over again.
It kind of reminded me. This is probably before your time because there used to be a TV show like Magnum PI. You probably don't remember it. But,
yeah, I remember Magnum.
But I grew up with Magnum, and there's that one time, he always loved watching an Army-Navy game, and he set it to record, and he didn't want to know what the score is. He kept everybody, don't call me, don't tell me, and then right at the last second, Higgins tells him, and it devastated because he wanted to watch it, and he wanted to drink his was it Dusseldorf?
Yeah.
Dusseldorf. Oh man, it's like that. It's like that. It's one of those years. It's we'll see where it goes, buddy. Hey, well, I appreciate your time, Jimmy, and hopefully next week we'll get everybody back in line here, and I hope everybody can stay healthy, man. It's just a crazy time of year, so we're going to keep everybody safe. So I want to go ahead and wrap it up here. So on behalf of the big dude, hopefully he's feeling better next week. Hopefully we get Yaacov back on here, man, and we're talking to the Grizz Jimmy Kennedy. My name's Skip Dreibelbis. Look forward to seeing y'all next week on Lions Live. So have a great night. Lord bless you, keep you, and make your space shine a problem. Take care, buddy.
Be cool, man.